Years of bodily inertia dissolve with this ancient technique, using 4 portals in 5 minutes. The freeze, that invisible state of paralysis, might be running your entire life without you even noticing. It blocks energy, focus, and creativity through micro-contractions and ancient reflexes that lock the vital flow in specific anatomical points. Even after years of searching or self-discovery, your body may still be holding on to this frozen state through shallow breathing and crystallized internal density. There is a method that goes straight to the core of these blockages, the Neurovagal technique of the 4 portals. Not to fight the freeze, but to fully move through it. A sequence backed by neuroscience and deep physical practice, capable of releasing, in 5 minutes, a strength that once felt lost forever. Each activated portal reveals layers of memory and energy, delivering the experience of real ascension with clarity, focus, and warmth returning to the body. What happens is not just movement, it is a passage from silence to power, from paralysis to creation. In the next few minutes, you will find out exactly how. The freeze is not laziness or lack of willpower. It is an ancient neurophysiological mechanism operating silently in the background of your nervous system. When the body detects any sign of threat, the dorsal vagus nerve automatically triggers a protective response, slowing down the heartbeat, restricting breathing, and contracting deep muscles. This primitive circuit learnt that stopping is safer than flowing, creating an addictive pattern of stagnation that drains your vital energy even when the danger passed years ago. Modern science is now discovering something extraordinary. Ancestral traumas inscribe freeze codes directly into the DNA, passing on survival patterns through entire generations. This means you could be living in inherited paralysis, carrying fears that are not even yours. There is a technique that can dissolve these codes in minutes, the conscious activation of the 4 neurovagal portals, specific anatomical points where the nervous system holds defense commands, waiting to be released through knowledge that the polyvagal theory by Stephen Porges has scientifically validated. If you keep watching this video, you will discover exactly where your body stores these survival codes and how to fully reverse them. These survival codes are concentrated in 4 specific points of your body: the sacrum, the solar plexus, the sternum, and the base of the skull. Each of these neurovagal portals works like a silent sentinel, deciding at every moment whether energy should flow freely or retreat for protection. The sacrum regulates your sense of stability in the world. The solar plexus processes all the emotions you feel. The sternum governs your ability to connect genuinely, and the base of the skull integrates mind and body into a coherent unit. Microscopic contractions in these portals keep the freeze active even when you are completely safe, creating a network of blockages that affects your entire energy system. Modern fascial anatomy has discovered something fascinating. These regions hold the highest density of vagus nerve receptors in the entire human body. Ancient Hermetic traditions have always known these points as portals of transmutation, places where consciousness can intervene directly in the body's automatic patterns. When one portal is blocked, the entire energy network reorganizes itself around that contraction, creating compensations that spread through the whole system. Now you are going to learn exactly how to activate each of these portals and dissolve the contractions that are keeping your vital energy trapped. Let's start from the foundation. The first portal is the sacrum, located in the lower region of your spine. Sit with your back upright and allow the full weight of your body to rest naturally on the surface where you are. Place your feet firmly on the ground, creating a solid connection with the earth. Now take a deep breath, but direct the air specifically toward the base of your spine, as if you were inflating a balloon in the area of the sacrum. Feel the air moving down through your torso until it reaches that foundational region. As you maintain this conscious breathing, apply slow and firm circular touches to the sacral area, using your fingertips with moderate pressure. Imagine you are waking up a dormant energy in that area. The movements should be deliberate and meditative, not mechanical. This portal regulates your entire sense of existential stability and primal movement in the world. This is where the body records whether or not you belong to the space you occupy. When it is blocked, you may experience deep insecurity, emotional instability, and a constant feeling of being off-center. You might feel like you are floating without an anchor, or as if the ground beneath your feet is unstable. The sensations you should begin to notice include a gradual warming in the area, a deep relaxation that spreads across the pelvis, and a growing sense of grounding, as if your energetic roots are digging deeper into the earth. Some people report a feeling of arrival or of finally being at home in their own body. Traumas related to basic safety, abandonment, or family instability are often crystallized in this region, creating contractions that keep the body in a constant state of alert. Generations of insecurity may have left marks in this portal. Continue the circular touches for at least 2 minutes, allowing each exhale to dissolve layers of tension that have built up in this essential portal. As the sacrum begins to release, you may notice your posture naturally adjusting, as if your body is remembering its original setting of stability and presence. Next, we move on to the second portal, the solar plexus, located in the area of the stomach. Place your open hand completely over this region, covering the entire space between your chest and your navel. Feel the weight of your hand resting naturally on this central area of your body. Apply gentle pressure using your fingertips, creating small circles while syncing your breathing with the natural expansion of your abdomen. The movement should be slow and contemplative, as if you were gently waking up this region after years of dormancy. With each inhale, allow your abdomen to fully expand against your hand. With each exhale, feel the area softly contract. Notice how your breathing naturally deepens when you bring conscious attention to this space. Keep your focus on the warmth that begins to rise from this region. This is energy moving and unlocking crystallized patterns. Some people feel tingling, others notice waves of heat, and some experience a sensation of inner melting. This portal functions as the emotional processing center of the body, where anxiety, fear, and emotional tension crystallize into dense knots and deep contractions. This is where the body records and stores unprocessed emotional impacts. Decades of worry, stress, and emotional overload may have created an invisible armor in this region. When activated correctly, you experience what we call the unlocking of the inner solar center, a feeling of expansion, increasing warmth, and a natural release of emotional tensions that were trapped. It feels as if a knot that had been tightly held for years is finally starting to loosen. Emotional knots that formed over time begin to dissolve through this conscious activation, releasing not just physical tension, but also emotional patterns that kept the freeze response active. You may notice that breathing becomes easier, that a sense of lightness replaces the previous heaviness. Continue this technique for at least 2 more minutes, allowing each breath to deepen the emotional release process. As the solar plexus opens, you may feel as if inner space is expanding, creating more room for emotions to flow naturally instead of accumulating in defensive contractions. Let's finish with the 2 upper portals, which work together to complete the reintegration of the system. The third portal is the sternum. Place the full palm of your hand on the center of your chest, covering the entire area over the breastbone. Feel the weight of your hand resting on this central part of the chest. Breathe in using a 3-part rhythm. Inhale as you count to 3. Hold for 3 seconds. Exhale as you count to 3. Keep this breathing pattern slow and controlled, allowing each cycle to become deeper than the one before. During this process, you may begin to feel a sensation of inner unfolding, as if the energetic heart is expanding and opening naturally. Many people describe this feeling as if invisible petals were blooming inside the chest. This portal governs your ability to connect genuinely with yourself and with others. When blocked by relational trauma or emotional shutdown, you may feel isolated even when surrounded by people. As this portal activates, a sensation of warmth and openness spreads through the chest, dissolving invisible barriers that were preventing authentic intimacy. Finally, the 4th portal is at the base of the skull. Bring your hands to the occipital region, at the lower back part of the head. Place your fingers gently in that area where the skull meets the first cervical vertebra. Touch this region softly while allowing a barely noticeable stretch of the neck, creating natural micro-movements of the head, gentle rocking that lets your head find its new axis of balance. Imagine that you are delicately tuning a fine and precise instrument. This final portal is responsible for the complete reintegration of mind and body, dissolving the fragmentation that the freeze response created between thought and physical sensation. This is where the body reconnects its ability to be fully present. When activated correctly, mental clarity and physical presence return naturally and in an integrated way. You may notice that thoughts become clearer and decisions arise with greater ease. By completing this sequence of the 4 portals, you establish a new bodily axis, a sensation that your whole system is finally aligned and functioning as a coherent unit. It feels as if scattered pieces of a complex puzzle have finally found their rightful places, creating an integrated image of vitality and presence. Let me share the story of David, a musician who had been living in such a deep freeze for 3 years that he could barely compose a simple melody. Constant procrastination, unexplained fatigue, and creative blocks made him question his own musical talent. He tried traditional therapy, meditation, and exercise, but nothing seemed to reach the true core of the problem. That was when David discovered that his issue was not mental, but somatic. Crystallized neurological patterns were keeping his nervous system in a state of constant, silent vigilance. The first time he applied the technique of the 4 portals, David felt something he had not experienced in years, energy returning to his body almost instantly. Compositions that had been stuck began to flow naturally. He told me, "I felt my body become my home again." In the following weeks, he discovered that his inherited freeze came from an unresolved ancestral trauma. Generations of men in his family who had learned to repress all emotional expression in order to survive. Once the body was finally released, David's entire life reorganized itself naturally. Creativity came back, relationships deepened, and his sense of purpose returned. It is important that you know your nervous system may initially resist this release. This is not a personal failure, and it does not mean the technique is not working. It is simply the body's protective mechanism wondering if it is truly safe to let go of patterns that, for years, ensured your survival. This resistance may show up as slight anxiety during the practice, a mental voice saying that this is not going to work, or even a physical feeling that something is off when the freeze begins to dissolve. The key is to continue gently with the technique, fully respecting the natural rhythm of your body. Do not force anything, and do not try to speed up the process. Simply keep applying the conscious touches to the portals while maintaining a calm and present breath. Your body wants to be free. It just needs consistent evidence that it is safe to make this transition. Every time you practice, you are sending a clear message to your nervous system. Now it is safe to flow again. What you just experienced reveals a fundamental truth. The 4 neurovagal portals are the keys to dissolving ancestral freeze and reclaiming the natural command of your body. When these microscopic contractions are released, you are not just relaxing muscles, you are rewriting neurological codes that were shaping your experience of life. As Peter Levine discovered through decades of research on somatic trauma, the body has an innate wisdom to self-regulate and return to its natural flow when given the right conditions. Stephen Porges showed us that the vagus nerve is literally a nerve of compassion. When properly activated, it reconnects us not only with our own body, but with our ability to be genuinely present in the world. The body is not an obstacle to overcome, but a temple waiting to be reawakened. Each portal you release gives back a layer of your original vitality. That energy that has always been there, simply waiting for the safe moment to rise again. When the freeze dissolves completely, something extraordinary happens. Life stops being a battle against internal limitations and becomes a fluid dance with infinite possibilities. You rediscover that you have always had access to creative power, magnetic presence, and mental clarity. They were simply suspended in protective patterns that no longer need to exist. The energetic rebirth that emerges from this release is not temporary. It is a return to your natural state of functioning, where flow is the norm and blockage is the exception. Your body has always known the way back to vitality. Now you have the keys to open those doors whenever you need. The technique of the 4 neurovagal portals you have just learned represents a return to the original functioning of your nervous system. When the sacrum is released, you regain the feeling of being truly grounded in the world. When the solar plexus is unlocked, emotions stop being enemies and return to being vital energy flowing naturally. When the sternum opens, your capacity for authentic connection reappears effortlessly. When the base of the skull is reintegrated, mind and body stop functioning as adversaries and return to working as allies. As noted by Antonio Damasio, a pioneering neuroscientist, the body is not just the vehicle of the mind. It is an integral part of how we think and feel. The ancestral freeze kept this integration suspended, fragmenting your experience into disconnected compartments. Each portal that is released dissolves layers of this inherited automatic response, returning conscious control to your own hands. The body stops being foreign territory and becomes your home once again. The energy that was trapped in defensive contractions turns into fuel for conscious creation. Chronic procrastination dissolves when the nervous system stops interpreting action as a threat. Relationships deepen when you are truly present instead of just surviving the interactions. Creative projects begin to flow naturally when the freeze stops interpreting expression as dangerous vulnerability. Breathing deepens, sleep restores, digestion returns to balance. Because all these systems depend on a vagus nerve functioning in harmony. When the freeze dissolves, life stops being a struggle against invisible forces and becomes the conscious creation of experiences that truly matter. The invisible paralysis that once governed your choices turns into directed vital flow. The frozen state that drained your energy transforms into magnetic presence. The inner density that blocked movement is alchemized into creative lightness. In the days ahead, notice how stuck projects begin to move, how relationships gain authenticity, how decisions arise with natural clarity. These are signs that your body has once again become a temple of manifestation instead of a fortress of survival. When you master the neurovagal portals, you are not just healing the past. You are rewriting the future through a nervous system that finally remembers how to create instead of only protect. Ascension is not an abstract concept. It is the return of the body to its natural state of flow, where each breath is fuel for transformation and every movement is an expression of recovered vitality. If this neurovagal technique resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This helps us share this transformative knowledge with more people who need to rediscover the natural flow of the body. I want to know how you experience the activation of the neurovagal portals. Write in the comments, I deactivate the freeze and transmute inertia into ascension. This affirmation connects you to the release process you have just begun. Share this content with someone you know is living in freeze and needs to reclaim their vital energy. And keep exploring. Click on the screen and watch the next transformative video on the channel. Each technique you master deepens your ability to live in conscious flow. Remember, your body has always known the way back to movement. Now you have the wisdom to guide it on this journey back to vitality.